Hello everybody. So today is the day that I'm gonna be attempting to get the airbag light fixed on my '06 Lincoln Town Car. Got the car. Got the part. And hopefully got the money it takes to fix it, because as of right now, all I got was an estimate from a dealership that never followed up with me regarding, my visit to the dealership. And if you remember, I posted a video, I will be putting a description in the link, about that trip. I ended up filming a bunch of other videos from my channel, so she says it right now. Got 95258. Got that airbag light blinking. Got already backing up. There we go. I love that feature. Yeah, so anyway, so I got a bunch of emails from that dealership that I went to. And those are the automated types that just basically ask, hey, how was your visit? How was this? How was that? But nobody bothered calling me or sending me an email saying, hey, are you ready to schedule that follow-up appointment we discussed? You said you were going to buy the part, which I did, for a fraction of the cost that they wanted to charge me. She's going to start beeping right now, I think. And yeah, they never did that. Also, for the sunroof seal, I also ordered it. It took a while to get it shipped out, but it should arrive in 3 to 4 business days. There we go. Yeah. So that dealership kind of screwed up, I think, because in my mind, I went out of my way to go to that dealership that was far from me. I mean, I'm thankful that they diagnosed it, and I filmed a bunch of, I think cool stuff. I found some cool cars on their lot, so I'm thankful for that. But even when I told the service advisor, hey, just I'll order them and maybe we can schedule, he said, yeah, as soon as I hear from the glass company, because they don't install these seals themselves, they outsource it to, I don't know, like Gerber Collision and Glass or something like that, or any other companies. Yeah, and he said that as soon as he hears back about their schedule, he will call me or email me or something, but never did. So anyway, I figured that it's not worth my time to go back to that dealership or call me, because ultimately I'm going to be going to a mechanic, a different one, who is still kind of far out, but a lot less annoying than a dealership is, and hopefully not going to charge me a lot. So yeah, that's just where I'm going. I'm on my way. And I think I mentioned this. He's a Russian guy. He's been in business for a while. My brother and dad have been using him. And I've used him. I spent a few $100 at his shop before for this car in particular. So anyway, all right, I'm going to be heading that way. I will ask him nicely for permission to film, because I'm hoping to get some good content out of that thing, and hopefully, he won't charge me too bad for it. And yeah, we'll figure it out. Oh, I guess another thing I wanted to add was, I thought long and hard about maybe replacing that seatbelt assembly thing myself. I watched a few videos. I was very close of just saying, oh, the hell with it, let me just replace it myself. But then I thought about it the other way. All right, the only time I can do these videos and do my repairs are on Saturdays and Sundays every other week because of other family obligations. So I thought about, all right, so I'm not a mechanic. I'm somewhat handy, I guess, but not to the extent where I feel confident about my skills, but in particular, fixing these. But I thought about, all right, so what would happen if I start getting in there and I would either need a specialty tool, or I break something, or I need to remove a seat, And I remembered about those rusty bolts that I snapped off last time I tried touching anything down there, and that cost me a few $100. So then I'm like, all right, so if I screw this up, and today being a Saturday, yeah, I could probably find some sort of a mechanic if I do it in the beginning of the day, like in the morning. But then I'm like, all right, what happens if I don't? Tomorrow is a Sunday. Monday I gotta go to work. And ultimately I'm like, all right, look, I know the dealership wanted, like, I think $250, or they said around there. And for me to start getting in there myself, possibly screwing it up, possibly not having a functional car, as far as if something were to be wrong with the seat, if I had to remove it, or not having a seat belt that functions, and ultimately we're talking about, I know not directly related to an airbag, but I was like, is it really worth all this hassle for somebody like me who doesn't have a garage? I have to do it outside. So it's one thing about, messing around with your car, like cleaning it or something, or doing some sort of an aftermarket, basic installation. But ultimately, I decided that the few $100 that hopefully this is going to cost me, I would rather just not lose a day out of work, not, and plus it's going to rain, looks like, as you can see from the sky. So anyway, so all the odds were against me as far as doing it myself, and I just be like, all right, fine. You win, car. You get the professional treatment. You deserve it. You've treated me well. I've already owned this car for, 7 months already, and it's been nothing but joy. Treated me well. And like I said, I bought this car knowing that it will take some investing. And I'm happy to do it. It's nothing out of the ordinary. So I guess while I am driving to my destination, which just so happens to be on Lincoln Avenue, but living in Illinois, obviously half of the streets have something to do with Lincoln, the president, not the car. Can't help to just mention, man, how smooth this car is on the highway. This is the dream. I know I've mentioned this before in some other videos, but driving in the morning, Saturday, non-rush hour, it's only like 7:40 something. And man, this is the dream. So recently I took over 400-mile road trip in my company's Toyota Prius for a job, and I'm gonna be posting a video about that. And man, what a night and day in the feeling on the road, the noise level, the smoothness, the quietness, the floatiness, the relaxation, just gliding on the highway. I'm going like 79, 80 miles an hour right now, and I don't feel a thing. And that's the way these cars meant to be. This is why I got this car. And wow, just, it's amazing that a piece of machinery that weighs 2 tons can do this, and that's 14 years old. That's unbelievable. This is why I fell in love with this car and with these in general. This is why I love land yachts, and if it wasn't for a Lincoln Town Car, it would have been some Cadillac or Buick, or I don't know, Chrysler, maybe Chrysler 300, or those, I know those are kind of crappy. So anyway, yeah, just want to plug that in. I got probably another 24 25 minutes to drive, and yeah, just, you got the Lincoln Star, the Continental Star, leading the way, and I'm enjoying every freaking second of it. And here you go, I'm still doing 79. We just turned off of a Lincoln Avenue, pulling into the lot. Looks like there's a squirrel, and it looks like there is a bunch of good stuff, and there is the place. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I got good news, bad news. The bad news is that he did look at it. He said that he would need to do it properly, he would have to remove the seat. He said today is a Saturday, is there any way we could schedule it for any other day? And I said yeah, because I also needed an oil change and a transmission, a fluid change. So we agreed that he would do that. So the repair would actually have to wait for a couple weeks. So that's the bad news. The good news is that while I was up here, I also found an interesting set of cars. And those cars are a bunch of Lincoln LSs. Now, this Lincoln LS, obviously, we've seen a better day. Oh man, this looks rough right there. But I haven't seen a Lincoln LS in quite some time. You know, the door doesn't open, so yeah. So that's a Lincoln LS with the Navi. I mean, I know it hasn't. It's probably not going to live to see another day. Let me try to move away from it, but it is a Lincoln LS nonetheless. And then right down here, I saw another Lincoln LS, which is in much better shape. So that's an interesting one. Well, can't really see inside, but that's an interesting one right up here. I don't really know much about these LSs. I know they came out kind of as a sporty alternative, but yeah, I'm gonna have to do some research on this. Now, I also found another thing in here. Now, I want to say that's a Buick Grand National, but I'm not sure. Maybe you guys can tell me what the hell is this thing. Can't really see inside. It's all tinted. Look at the back. Look at that. I don't know. Is this a Buick? I want to say yes, but don't know. Oh, there it is. There's the little crest. So, very interesting setup right here. Also got a pretty destroyed Mercedes right there, ML. And a nice BMW. So anyway, this is just a bonus because I was hoping to get it fixed, but I guess it would have to wait till he gets some time, and I would have to come back in a couple weeks on a Saturday, and then I'll do a bunch of stuff here. All right, guys, there's the place. Alrighty, folks, so there you go. There's my quick little visit. Unfortunately, the drive to the mechanic and back ended up being longer than my actual service appointment. But he's a good guy. He didn't want me to film inside, but we actually did pretty much everything outside. So he looked at it, he jumped in. He said that so he can get better access to everything. He would need to remove the driver's seat, which you know, I already tried doing it once myself, and it ended up breaking all the bolts. So I'd rather have him do it. And we also agreed that next time I see him, which is going to be in a week, we will also do an oil change and then the transmission fluid flush and, you know, new fluid. By that time, I will also have my sunroof gasket. He said he will look at it, but he didn't have the time today, so he might do that. He did also say that to replace that seatbelt assembly thing, he said he would charge me $125, which is, once again, a fraction. This is actually half of the cost that a dealership would. So I am super happy on that. I am not happy that I'll have to drive for at least another week with this, but ultimately I'm glad I went there, so he kind of knows and he understands what needs to happen. Now I filmed some cool cars, and I am gliding back home, only to make this trip one more time. Well, probably several times, but at least one more time to get it all replaced. I'm going to be getting my gasket next week, so today being a Saturday. So yeah, I filmed some cool stuff in there, and I hope you guys like this video. I also want to, you know, thank everyone who got 98 subscribers as of at least this morning. So let's, you know, let's help me out if you guys could. Just give me at least 2 more subscribes for that even number 100. And I'll be happy to keep making these videos and hopefully someday hit that big 1,000. And there's a Chrysler Sebring convertible on the road. And then, oh, also, as I was driving to the mechanic, a grandma overtook me. I was going 80. She was going probably 85, 90 in a Subaru WRX. I grabbed my phone to start filming it, but she was gone. I was like, man, that grandma knows how to party. So, yeah, too bad I didn't capture that. But in general, you know, the car runs good. Yeah, and I hope you all have a great weekend.